Hi everyone, I'm here with Cutieerica, Erica Williams. You probably follow her on Instagram and on Flickr, but today we're gonna talk to her a little bit about her collection. Hi Erica, how are you doing?
Hi, Sal. How are you doing? I'm good.
Yay, it looks a little cloudy. Is it cloudy over there too?
It's sunny.
It's sunny. Oh,
Little overcast, yeah.
we're only 4 hours away, so it's kind of like similar weather usually. That's why I was asking. So
Cool.
I see you got some beauties behind you.
Yes.
We'll talk about those later, but first I want to talk to you a little bit about how I met you. So before Instagram hit it huge with social media and everything, the thing where you would share pictures was Flickr. And that was actually prior to even Facebook. Can you tell us how you got started on Flickr?
Okay. How did I get started on Flickr? I used to use Photo Bucket, and then I found that was a long time ago. That dates all of us.
I remember.
And then I found Flickr. So with Flickr, you could also upload your photos. And I think back then you could use them on other websites. Now they don't let you do that. I think you can, I'm not sure. But then I started taking pictures of my dolls just for fun. And I joined a group called the Pink Parlor.
I remember.
Right. That was many, many, many moons ago. So that's how I used Flickr. And then I would upload it onto the message board. And that's how I got started with Flickr.
So were you aware that there were other adult collectors, or were you just like thinking you were the only one? How did that go about before the
um,
parlor?
oh, before that. No, but I always liked dolls since I was little because I always cut their hair. And my mom would have to always buy new dolls because I would always cut Barbie's hair up because I just wanted to cut it. I never liked anything to just be like out of the box. I always wanted to customize and have her my way. And then when I became a teenager, she was like, okay, Erica, you're getting way too old to play with dolls. So I stopped playing with dolls, but I still did hair. I used to braid hair and do my cousin's hair. And then after that, I went to college. And then after college, I think my husband and I, we went to the grocery store and there was a cat girl Barbie. And I was like, what? And this was like early 2000s. So that's when they were starting to do different characters. And Barbie was on the different nice collector dolls. So that's what really got me started with collecting Barbie. And then I started collecting Barbie. And then a couple of years went by and I saw Kiori Sato. And what was the name of it again? She had on a zipper outfit. I'm sorry, Glam Slam.
Okay.
Glam Slam Kiori. So I wasn't a part of Fashion Royalty when they first came out. That second wave is when I started to see, okay, wait a minute, there's another doll company out here. And then I started collecting that. And then when I got on the doll boards, I started seeing other collectors. And then that's when I started meeting more and more folks. And that was like around 2005, 2000.
So you're really talking about the Halle Berry, Catwoman, Barbie.
Yes, that Halle Berry cap.
I remember her. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, like, so you were allowed to play with dolls as a well,
I
some
was, but until a teenager, mom was like, you got to put that up.
yeah,
You're
some
way too
parents are
old.
very anti Barbie for some reason. But that's so cool that you got to play with them as a kid.
And I always liked them because I always wanted to be a stylist. So I wanted to do the whole arts thing, go to FIT, be a designer, do all of that. But I don't know how to sew. My mom tried to teach me how to sew. I don't have the patience, Sal. Much respect. I was always more so into hair and makeup. So that's kind of what I do with the dolls now. I love doing reroutes because I don't like sometimes, shout out to all of all the doll stylists at Integrity. But with me, sometimes I might want her to have a darker color or have a lighter color. So that's how I got into doing the reroutes. But that's what dolls do for me is satisfy that whole like being a stylist in me.
I was going to tell you because it's always relative to something as a kid that we didn't have, but for you, it's more of like this other passion that you have, and you're like reflecting it through the dolls.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I always
And
wanted to style like, come here, let me put this on you, and then I always wanted to do that because in the late '90s, that was like the big thing to do. Like Puff would have his designers and everybody like that. That's what I really wanted to do. But
right.
as you know, it's hard to break into that industry. So I ended up just doing computer science and ended up doing graphic design. So that's what my job is as a graphic designer.
So that's probably why you take such photography and those backgrounds.
Yes. And dolls help me have fun with that on the weekends. So
Well, that's actually what I wanted to tell people how I met you. So back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, that's when I came across your Flickr account. And I always tell you this story, but I'm going to tell it to everyone. Um, I saw this top model, Teresa, with this haircut, and I was like, who is this person? And why are they so good at cutting hair?
But
And this was like 10 years ago. So that's how I came across your account. And I used to follow you religiously and all the hairstyles and all the haircuts that you did. And I was, and I would try to cut hair like you did. And you didn't quite came out that way. So,
I
major
say
post.
lots of gel, but I know sometimes the gel doesn't work yet.
I'm just not, everyone has their God given talent. It's hair cutting is not mine. But
Sewing, not mine.
everybody has their gift, but I remember seeing your pictures and I was like, she's so cool.
Oh,
And then you
thank
took a little break, right?
you. I had Antonio.
Antonio.
See, I had Antonio, and you know what? When I had him, I said, I'm not gonna play with dolls anymore. I sold a large portion of my collection, which I now regret. But it's okay. I saved some of them though. All my Colettes, I kept them, but I was out of the game for a minute. And then when he became two and I had put a doll out and he wasn't touching them, I said, okay, well, let me put some more out. And he was doing his own thing. And I was like, okay, I can collect again because he's not going to break them or, mess with them. So then I came back on the scene. I think that may have been like 2011, 2012,
Right before Instagram started.
2013. Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, because I remember seeing you all of a sudden on Instagram and I was like, she's back? She's
Yeah,
collecting again? Because when people like to take some time from collecting, I don't like to, be like, where are you? What are you doing? When are you coming back? I want it to happen organically for you.
thank you.
And yeah, I was really happy when you came back and you started seeing pictures. And that's actually when I started talking to you, because back when I started, I had like these really raggy Barbies and like some random like dolls that weren't that cute, right? And I was like, she's not gonna want to be friends with me.
Oh, so no.
Well, now I know, but like back
Yeah,
then, I was like, her collection is so cool. Her dolls are so well like photographed and
thank
styled,
you.
and you've always been one that I always look up to. Like,
Oh, thank
I want
you,
to say that, and I'm so glad that we're friends. You guys actually don't know, but we talk almost every day, and
Sam.
and
We do. And
yeah,
I was so proud of you when you won the design contest.
thank you so much.
So kudos on that.
Thank you so
Kudos.
much. But I do have to say that even though you took a break, when you're born to bring so much joy to people and when you're born to really just make everyone's day better with a picture, with a
Oh,
post, it just happens in any platform that you're in. And I think that's your God-given gift to bring people joy through your posts and everything that you do.
thank you, Sal.
That's why I'm not surprised. You're welcome. That's why I'm not surprised that your Instagram took off like it did. Because hard work, dedication, and talent, and generally speaking, just really good energy, I think it manifests. And I think one of the reasons that people are so attracted to you and to your post and to your account, it's because you're such a kind and such a pure hearted person that people can see that, when they see your posts. And I also wanted to tell you, Erica, um, you're one of the few people that I know that is such a supporter of small businesses in the adult community. You buy so much clothing and you support so many designers. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that you do that. Um, what kind of like motivated you to do that?
That goes back to the stylist in me.
Mm,
So I can't sew, but I feel like I have an eye. I can see something you make style and be like, oh, I know what doll's gonna wear that, and she can rock it. So that motivates me to buy from different small designers, that sell doll clothes. And my goal on Instagram was to promote everybody because you know how it was in the early days. There was no doll clothes. No disrespect to Barbie, but I don't want my dolls in pink and everything.
right.
And I'm a grown woman, so I want her to maybe have something a little sexy or something, a little more current. Again, that's when you came on the scene. You make stuff that's current. You make things that's very fashionable. And I just love to promote that. And then the people can come to me and they say, hey, I'm looking for some clothes. I have a link to your page. I have a link to, all the different various people that sell clothes. And hey, that
It's
was my goal.
such a beautiful thing, honestly. And like, I have to say that Erica's one of my biggest supporters. Like ever since I started selling clothes, she's like, "I'll buy something, just make me something," and that's that's so cool. But usually, I want to ask you, when you start styling a doll, do you like think of them as your children, and then you're like, "I bought you something," or how does it work for you?
I look at this is so corny, but I look at it like I run a modeling agency.
Hmm.
Not everyone makes it. Just kidding. I have some helpers. The dolls that I do collect that are not in the that you may not see, they're just the helpers on the side. So they give me the clothes and put them on the rack. But I look at my dolls as models. And so when a new one comes in, I'm like, what kind of style would she be in? Does she do a dominatrix type of style? Would she be like a hip hop 90s, era? Because everybody has a different vibe with them. So that's what I do with my dolls when they come in. I
You're
try to photograph them in their original outfits. So, those who are new to collecting, they can see with integrity, how it looks, how the doll may look in her original outfit. And then once I do that, then I can get funky with them. And then,
and you do. So you're pretty much the modeling agent, and you're also the stylist, and you're also the
yes. And
photographer.
the photographer, yes. I
You
run
really
a small
love,
ship here.
and also the hairstylist.
And the hairstylist, yes.
Well,
Sometimes, remember on Tyra when she would cut some of the girls' hair and they would cry, like, I don't want my hair cut. I do that to some of my dolls.
but you actually do a really good job at it. So
Thank you.
yeah. Like I told you, I had some heads, and I'm like, I need to send it to Erica so she can cut it the hair. I might have to look for that top model Teresa and just get my top model fantasy going on.
But I wanted to tell you about the hair cutting. When I used to reroute, I no longer take commissions, but when I used to do hair and reroutes, I never did the cuts because the way I cut hair, I just go in and I just go in. I have no plans. I don't even know how it's going to come out.
Mhm.
So you may say, I want a pixie bob with a, I can't do that on demand because it's scary. And if I mess it up, I'm going to have to reroute that doll all over again. So unless you give me this creative autonomy, then I usually don't take commissions with haircuts. But I know you gave me permission to get funky, so I
Oh,
don't.
yeah, for sure. Like if I trust somebody with cutting hair, it's gonna be you. And you pretty much gave me creative freedom when
Yeah.
whenever I do something for you, you're like, here's you know the price range, and this is what I want, and you're like, go for it. And
Mhm.
usually, like, I don't know if it's just your good energy or whatnot, but usually those outfits are like hot sellers. So, but then again, it also helps that you promote so much. Not everyone does that. So,
No, I'm here to promote. I want to share. For me, doll collecting, and you know what? When I first got on IG, it wasn't about the followers. I know a lot of times we go on there because we want to get more followers and more and more followers. I went on there and nobody was really following me. But I love taking pictures so much and it gave me an outlet. This was actually something to help me on my spare time. So it's relaxing for me. It's like therapy. So when I joined Instagram, for me, it was just putting the pictures up. And then folks were starting to come along. And I was like, okay. And then I started seeing more people sewing doll clothes. And so I said, okay, well, let me promote them here and there. And they all have turned into friendships.
that's
So
true.
it's a win-win. You know what I mean? So for me, IG is just about promoting integrity. I collect Barbie as well, but I'm IT all day. I love their dolls. Like I said, I was there from not the first beginning, but I was there in the early days. And I've just been riding with them ever since. So
Do you collect Janae before you
I
start?
a couple of Janae dolls. I would go to Walmart. Remember when she was in
I
Walmart?
do.
And that's where I would get some of the practice of cutting the doll hair was on Janae because she didn't cost so much. So I was like, okay, I can get a couple of them and practice on them. And remember Tariq?
Hmm.
Like he was my first guy doll that he hung with the girls and yeah. So I did Janae, but I didn't really put together that the company that was for Janae was Fashion Royalty
I didn't either.
until later on, you know what I mean? And then Jason Wu came, Jason Wu was there and everything. And I was like, oh, Janae, okay, they're same company. So, and they used to do baby dolls because I remember the baby dolls were in Walmart. They used to have like little, I think they were baby dolls, like little miniature dolls. Do you remember those?
Not those. I just remember Janae and the little tiny ones with the big heads.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
my bad. Yeah, the tiny ones with the big heads. So I've been around, I've been collecting for a while. And for me, I love the quality. And again, they're grown people dolls. Not that Barbie isn't, but I just love more of an edge. And I feel like that's what integrity brings. So I'm team integrity all day.
Of course, and your collection is amazing. And I think, like, even though you sold off most of your collection when you took a break, I think you pretty much recouped.
Oh yeah, and because when I got back in the game, a lot of people weren't collecting like they are now. So some things I was able to grab here and there off of eBay for cheaper. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Remember those days when you could go and, huh?
it's so competitive now.
Yeah, no, I tried to recoup all the ones during the time when it wasn't as competitive as now. Now, if you're trying to get a doll from back in the day, just say I missed out.
Yeah, I
Or
always
if you
find
want
that
to,
with Genia.
yeah, oh, you see, that one breaks my heart. That's the one that I let go, and I wish I had never sold her. I almost sold Talking Drama Adele.
No.
Someone offered like $300 for her back then. This was like in 2010. And I was going to sell her, but something in my heart was like, no, keep her. Hold on.
Genia.
So I'm glad that that's the one I did not let go.
Is that like some advice that you would be able to give people? Like, if you're gonna plan on taking a break, don't sell everything off. Just sleep on it for a little bit.
Yes. If you want to stop collecting, I would say sleep on it. And another way that will make you not want to sell your dolls is if you check out the value, the resale value of your dolls. You know, I mean, unless you want to get out fast and you want to sell them.
No,
But
trust me, I've been there, and I've sold out some dolls that I look that I go because I start. Well, I didn't start out at the same time as you did, but a little later, and I was
yeah.
still able to manage some good deals. And then I'll look back and try to buy a poppy that I sold off, and I'm like, holy cow, they're like
Mhm.
pushing 1K, a lot of them, and I'm
I
just.
know. Wow. Who would have thought though?
But people are buying them, so it's not like it's not like you can really claim that it's just like those eBay prices. People are paying it.
Now, we'll be honest, I do not sell my dolls. I used to, but now I just get what I want up front. Before I would just buy it, I'm like, I could resell it for later. I don't do that. And for me, it's just because I would like for the next person to be able to get the doll. And I don't know. There's nothing wrong with reselling. I mean, buying and reselling dolls. That's just not something that I do because I have sometimes people will ask me, "So you're gonna sell your dolls, Erica? When are you gonna sell?" I'm like, "No, I just keep them." And if I don't like her, then I'll just do something different with the hair or get her repainted or do something like that.
But they end up being like your children.
Yeah, or it's a gift to a friend, or I would do it that way. But I don't really get on eBay or sell on like the message boards or anything. I try to keep everything.
I think it's too much of a lower profit margin for me to like even consider it.
Right.
Um, I have sold dolls, but it's usually when I'm no longer bonding with them.
Right.
Instead of
And there's
just
nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
instead of just doing it as a business, because I don't think I would have the patience to buy a doll and just keep her in the closet to see when she goes up in price.
Right.
I don't.
Another reason for me, it's a nightmare sometimes when you sell dolls on eBay. I'll just speak for eBay because when I take pictures of my dolls, I made them eyelash or something maybe crazy. I take pictures of all of that. I've heard horror stories. I've never personally had this happen, but I hear horror stories where people may complain or say they didn't get their doll or da da da. I don't want to. That's too much. That's too stressful for me. So
It happens. Tiny scratches that you didn't even know were there, or just like so many things. I try to avoid it too. But
yeah,
sometimes it's hard when you don't know how adult's gonna look like because the promo pictures can sometimes be misleading. So you're like, let me give her a chance.
right.
But you're like, oh, I can make any of them look good. I'll just give her new hair.
I'm honest. If I'm selling on eBay, here's a picture. She looks crazy. One eye's bigger than her, because I want you to know what you're getting. I try to be honest with that. But
And I think
yeah. Go ahead, mom. My bad.
I was just gonna say that I think a huge thing that people appreciate about you is that you share a lot and you live close to the headquarters.
Yeah, for a while there, people were like, she works for integrity, right? And I'm like, no, I literally live in the same state. I'm in Maryland. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
live
far from
hours
where,
away. So
yeah.
you usually do get the dolls first. A lot of people thought the same thing. They're like, "Oh, you're friends with so and so. That's why you get the dolls so
No,
fast." You
just
just
happen to live in the right state.
right. And I live
Right.
pretty close too, but you get them like first usually. And I think it's so nice that you share like such good quality pictures right away because sometimes people are just, dying to see the dolls right away. And not everyone's sharing. So that's another thing that I want to thank you. And I think everybody
Oh,
that follows you wants to thank you for being so sharing.
anytime. When it comes to dog, and then I've been told that I'm an enabler as well. So some folks are like, thanks, Erica. Now I gotta go buy. I have no money because now, you just showed me this doll. I didn't want her at first, but now I see her in a different light and she looks good. So That
You
makes me happy.
because I remember I sold off my Bamp Agnes. That's the really tan one.
Yes.
And then I saw your pictures with the dark hair, and I was like, why did I do that?
Right.
Why did I do that? So thankfully, I ended up getting her back from Reese, and but that does happen when it's like you're getting rid of something, and then somebody makes it look really good, and you're like, I want it back.
I've been there.
You are
Yeah.
an enabler. Erica, how long have you been going to conventions?
Only went to two conventions. This past one, the virtual one, which was in 2020. And oh my goodness, in 2006, it came to Baltimore, Maryland.
And that's why I asked you, because I remember going to like an old school one. What was that one like?
That one was really fun. It was like family. It was much, much smaller than the conventions that are being held now. But it was really fun. It felt like, we were all like family members. And again, Pink Parlor, I was on there. So a lot of time I was able to see a lot of other members from that message board. It was fun. The food was good. I was able to drive right up the street because I'm not far from Baltimore, but I still stayed in the hotel and everything. But it was really cool. And one thing I loved about that convention, when we were able to go into the souvenir room, they had suitcases and clothes. And you remember like they had all the good stuff back then. And well, they have good stuff now, but this is when they used to do the clothes packs and all the sofa and everything. They had all of that in like the souvenir room. And I remember just being like, wow. So
Or
I
like a
thought,
little girl all over?
oh, and you know what? Wait a minute. I went to the other convention in Baltimore. Hello, Erica. I went to in 2019. Remember? Hello. I cannot forget that. See, coronavirus has my
I think
I've been in the house so long.
it's like driven us all insane.
Yeah. And that one was fun, right? The Baltimore one that we went to.
Well, I will say I did get sick.
Oh yeah, I remember. I saw you.
Yeah. So I was so upset that I didn't really get to hang out with everyone that I wanted to see, because I've been waiting to meet you for like 10 plus years. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna say hi to everyone. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna go wild. I was so sick. I was most of the time in my room.
Right. I remember. You still look good though.
You, I tried.
Still was working it. So I mean, it is what it is.
I tried. No, but I think that's so cute, and that you mentioned that, because if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like back in the mid 2000s, those were like $60 or like $90 for
Mhm.
like really good ones, right?
Yeah.
Before production costs went up.
Yeah. I was there when, like I said, graphic language Adele. I also got her when she first came out. I want to say she was like maybe 75, $75, 75, 85, around that range. Most definitely wasn't 150 or
Or 70.
no, it wasn't that much. But yeah, in the beginning, and I remember back then, like, wow, this is a lot because you could get a Barbie for like 20.
Yeah, and I
You
remember they even had some basic essentials like Veronique and Adele. I think the first ones were like 40 something dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, remember when nobody wanted Poppy Parker?
I do remember that. And I was one of those people. I was like, Poppy Parker.
Who
What?
is she? No, I remember. And I think you could get them back then for very inexpensive. Under
Yeah.
100 for sure.
And there would be leftovers because nobody wanted her.
Nobody wanted Poppy
But
Parker.
when did that change? I can tell you when it changed for me.
No,
The
go ahead. I want to know.
Sunshine Games, Poppy Parker, the one with the doopy eyes or with the big eyes. That's when it changed for me. I was like, okay, wait a minute, now she's cute. And then after that, I started saying, well, wait a minute, she's cute too, and she's cute. So that's how I became a fan of Poppy Parker. I didn't like the body, so I would always put her on New Face. To me, she works better on New Face than Fashion Royalty because she's a little more busty with the Fashion Royalty body. So I
No,
like
she
her on
looks
New
great
Face.
in Fashion Royalty. But before we even had a New Face 2.0,
Uh-huh.
people would put Poppy in FR too.
I remember that.
I don't know if you followed B. John. I think he was one of the first ones who did it,
Mhm.
and they would try to like conceal the the boobs a little bit to make it look like
Right.
it was more youthful. But that's just crazy that nobody liked Poppy. And I remember anyone could get it for under 100 back then, and I was just like, really? I didn't like Poppy back then, but
Mhm.
then Bergdorf Goodman came out.
That's what changed the game too, right?
I got her. I got her for a really good price.
Mhm.
Like
And I wasn't even tripping back there. It was a lottery, right? Didn't we have to? It wasn't a lottery, or did we have to go to the website? It was one or the other. I don't remember. I think.
Well, I got it from somebody, but I remembered that it was for Fashion's Night Out, so you had to actually be in New York to get it, and they probably had leftovers like they always
Right, right.
do. I saw her, and I was that's when they started doing her
Hmm.
with the arched eyebrows and the really sultry makeup, and I was like, no, this is this is for me.
Uh-huh.
But I heard that the same thing happened with Agnes. Nobody wanted Agnes back then, and look at her
I
now.
remember that.
You remember?
Yeah,
I did
because
it.
she was revealed at the 2006 convention that I went to. I remember
Oh, it
it.
was.
She was the convention doll, and we all were like, Agnes, like what? Like no, back then we nobody really. Where's Adele? Where's Veronique? We know where's Vanessa. That was more the attitude. And now times have changed.
Well, Vanessa was the to go girl for a long time.
It
Everyone was
was a
like,
two girl girl. Yeah.
you can get her for better prices now, but back then it was like impossible to get one for a good price.
Mhm,
And it's funny that you mentioned that she was revealed at convention because the same thing happened with Carolyn
mhm,
at the
mhm,
2015 convention. Everybody was like, "Oh my god!" People were like legit quiet when they first showed her at the convention. Everybody was so quiet. They were expecting another intimate reveal, Agnes. And
mhm.
to be fair, I don't think she's the best version of her.
Yeah,
But now she's really popular.
that's how it is.
So it's always worth it to kind of just give them a chance or at least give the sculpt a chance because the same thing happened with Colette 2.0. I want to, are you team 1.0 or 2.0 or 2.5? What's up?
2.5.
2.5. Really? Reese is like super 1.0.
Yeah, because that's cool. Okay. So, like again, the stylist in me and her had a great time when she was younger.
Oh, okay.
Now she's a little older. She's like Miss Zendaya. Miss Zendaya was a little girl at one point, but now she's a little older. And she, to me, she looks like Zendaya a little bit.
She does.
So I like the most. I like you said 2.5, correct? Is
Mhm.
that the? Yeah, I like the latest one. The 2.0, her head was a little bit bigger. She looked a little different, but I like the new and improved Colette. So I like the newest one. That's my favorite.
I
And I
bonded
have
with the
every single Colette from the beginning. That's the only doll in the whole collection that I have. That one and every AA Poppy. So those are my two brag points.
well, you've done such good haircuts too, the Colettes and reroots. And like that's why
Thank
I'll look at your picture and like, oh my god, it's so good. Let me share it because I like to share your pictures sometimes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put that picture away because I don't want to be tempted to go on
you.
eBay and buy something that I probably don't need, and then I need to get the body, and then I need to get the reroot, and yeah, it's intense. But I don't know. I bonded with her right away. Maybe it was like the big head in me that's saying like, oh, here's one of mine. And
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I just think it's important to give them a chance, and it's important to be nice about it. If you don't like it, just don't buy it.
That's me. If I don't like it, I won't buy it.
It's fine. I think.
Because
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say because there's if I don't like it, there's always someone else out there that will love her or love him. So I see it that way. I don't complain. I'm like, okay, well, that's more money in my pocket. I don't, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that people love about you. It's that you're not a negative person. You always stay positive, and no, for real, you always stay positive. And if you don't like something, you just won't buy it. You're not gonna talk bad about it. You're not gonna be like, don't buy this, guys. This is filling the blank. You focus on what you love, and that's the energy that you manifest, and that's the energy that people take from you.
This is my therapy. So I have to make it a non-stressful thing. If it gets too stressful, then I have to pull away. I haven't had any negative issues on Instagram. I know that there's some horror stories, some good stories. For me, because I always try to keep my inner circle positive, and that's what I and promoting the doll clothes keeps it positive for me. So it's a really good experience with that.
And I wanted to tell you guys more than just a friend. Erica has been really good therapy for me, free therapy. Because whenever I do struggle with something, or if I have an issue, I'll come to her because I know that you are very trustworthy, and I can tell you an issue or something that's going on in the community, and you give me really good advice,
Mhm.
and that makes you a good person.
I
I,
try to be, Sal. I
you are, you know.
know me, I don't like to get in drama either. So I'm just like, it is what it is.
If you could give us more seasoned collectors any advice on how to have like a positive energy and have a positive outlook during the collecting of the hobby with regards to social media, what could you tell us? What advice would you give?
Oh wow, Sal. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
I had to really dig deep and say, what am I doing this for? Am I doing it for the likes? Am I doing it to be popular? Am I doing it to make more new friends? That is not why I joined. I joined because I have a love of dolls and I've always loved to photograph them. So I have to always center myself because sometimes I'm worried about the followers. I'll get sometimes 10 to 20 people will unfollow. And that used to bother me. You know what I mean? And it got to a point where I was like, you have to center yourself. When you find yourself getting upset about that, you have to center yourself because one scary thing about social media, it can it can do damage if you let it.
Yeah.
We have to make this a fun experience. If you're not getting along with somebody, there's that block button. You know what I mean? If somebody's posting something about you, for me personally, it's just best to just let it go. I'm not going to argue with nobody. I am in my 40s. I don't have time. So that's how I deal with it. And my advice to anyone else is just to keep it about the dolls. Let's have fun. If you don't like me, I understand. We're not going to all like each other. You know what I mean? But those who want to be down, let's have a good time with the dolls. You know what I mean? And as long as integrity is out and they're making good dolls, I'm here. And I'm not affiliated with integrity because sometimes people will be
Oh
like,
my
you
god, I
work
don't know
here,
people
don't you? How come, Erica, every time you get a doll, your doll always looks good? Or, I think she works with that. I do not work for integrity. I mean, if they looking for somebody, I can. I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
Well, I've always told you I think that you're way overdue for a takeover. And
But you know what, Sal? A lot of people have seen my page. So I don't look at it that way because anytime, you know me, if you can advertise other folks in the community, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
that's such a beautiful thing that you look at it that way. But I think you're, well, I'm not just saying it just because you really are one of the best accounts out there.
Thank you.
And you are recognized as one of the best accounts, but I want everyone to see your work.
But there, back to that, we got to center it.
Circle.
If it's meant for folks to come and see, they'll come. If not,
That's true too.
if not, I understand because there's a whole lot of people in the dog community, and you see new people coming into IG that are dope, and you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, you know what I mean?
They're
That's
like
just
the
how.
children. It's like high school over. You're like seniors. You kind of know the ins and outs.
Yeah,
And then you have the little children coming,
right.
and it's always good though to see like a fresh perspective too. To see like collecting through the eyes of newer people.
Mhm.
And I want to ask you too, what advice would you give to those people who just started collecting?
Okay, with integrity dolls, I'm gonna tell you right now, you buy one, you addicted. It's not gonna be, I'm just gonna buy one doll and I'm good and I'm out. That does not work that way. So be careful if you want to be a doll collector. I say any dolls really, but for me personally, integrity. If you want to collect one doll, just get prepared to get your coins together because there's going to be more and more dolls and you're always going to want something. So that would be my advice. Just get what you want. Get what you like. Don't get it because it's the popular doll. Don't feel bad if someone's like, oh, that doll is ugly because you like it. That's what matters. You know what I mean? And take pictures of it. If everybody thinks it's ugly, that's okay. Put a dress on her and sashay her down. Again, that's the stylist in me. you know, work it.
Start somewhere, and you. It's like I feel like I still have a long way to go with photography because I feel like people go to my account more to see the clothes than anything.
Right. No,
But
your photography is on point. It's
thank
on.
you. I would love to be at your level, but at the same time, I'm like, that's gonna take time. She's been doing it a little bit longer than you have, so just keep practicing. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. And I think that's like with everything, with reroutes, with reap. I'm not gonna go into repainting because
Oh, honey. Mm-mm. But there's people that can repaint, and hey, props. You know what I mean? That's just not for me. My eyes are not like they used to be. So, rerouting is already a struggle because, I do the tie knot method. I know some folks use the tool, but I'm there for 4 hours because I literally tie knot and use the threading. For me, it's cleaner. I had a really bad experience with the other tool. I punched in the thing and the whole head just split like this. And I said, okay, this isn't for me. Let me research other ways to reroute. And I found a tie knot method with the needle. So
Erica,
I'll do that.
honestly, I think you and I, well, I'm sure there's more, not that I know. I think you and I are the only people who do the knot method still.
I have to, especially if I'm a reroute your doll. I do not want to split her head because if it's a Eugenia and I can't replace her, where do we go from here?
I,
And that's one thing with some of the dolls. I don't know if you've experienced this. If they tuck a lot of hair in one little part and you take the hair out, there's a hole sometime. Have you ever experienced that? I mean, I'm
oh
not
yeah,
talking
because
bad
they
about
put a little bit too
texting,
much hair of
please.
the
Because
part.
we're not supposed to. Okay, this is something else I want to share. If you take the hair out of the doll, it is no longer under warranty. It is not recommended. So if you take the hair out or whatever you see under there, that's on your own time. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there.
That's good you explained that because I have, whenever I make a video for integrity, I have to make a disclaimer saying that.
Yeah, because if there's a big hole, there's a reason why that big hole is there because she has a big heavy part. So it's going to make a big hole. So if I reroute your doll and there's a hole there, I mean, I have to let you know, or it could possibly split if you put too much tension around it. And let me tell you, you gave me advice to go every other hole.
Mm-hmm.
And because of you, I developed a new technique of going every other hole and then going back to the hole that I skipped over. And that stopped
Like
the
that worked
splitting
for
issue
you.
that I had. So thank you, Sal.
You're welcome. I'm so happy that I was able to teach you something.
Tell me something. You said to Erica, don't do every single hole when you reroute. You said go every other, so you don't put too much tension on the next hole.
Yeah, I was damaging a lot of dolls like that.
Yeah,
Mm, that really worked out for me. But I
that's
honestly think
amazing.
you and I are the only ones who still do the knot method.
That's why I don't do commissions because it's like being grandma. I'm like, it takes too long. It's way too long, but it's pretty. I love the outcome because I can get a clean perimeter if I do it that way. So that's just me.
I I stopped taking commissions too. I just didn't think it was worth it. I don't think it's I honestly think that if you manage to get a reroute artist with whatever method it is and they do a good job, praise them. And
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate
it's a lot of
them
work.
because it's a lot of work and you're literally, if you bring it down, you're literally working for a few dollars an hour,
Yeah,
not including the styling and everything. So really take good care of your reroute artist. I have a guy, Luis, Eldolls. He's stuff.
yes. Hey, shout
Hey,
out.
Luis. He does the tool method, but he's really good at it, and he's the one who does my reroutes now. I'll do
Yes.
one every once in a while. I have one that I want to show you that I feel like I'm going to scare you.
Oh no, let me see.
This is not an integrity doll, but she's special to me. I have to
Okay.
cover her for. Do you know who this is?
That's Cher doll, right?
Yeah, the Mego.
Oh, that's so pretty.
But this is the. Let me cover her booty. This is the most recent one I've
Let
made.
me see how long. Okay. Is that cool?
It'll cover her,
Ah,
and I'll make one once in a while. But she was just casually laying there. I'll make one once in a while, but that's something that I do want to tell people. Really be respectful of artists and their work because it's so much that goes into it, and they're really doing it out of a labor of love.
not to mention the heads are hard. So with Barbie, I can do that on the couch. Like it's no big deal. But with integrity, you have to keep the head soft. You got to make sure that you don't not too rough because you can split the head. It's a lot that goes into it. And you want to make sure you don't mess the lashes
That's
up.
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
You don't want to crush the lashes because if you do someone else's doll and their lashes removed, I don't do lash services.
Mm-mm.
So, but that's something that I would warn people. I'd be like, I'm going to be honest. If you send her to me, she could possibly lose her lash. Now I'm going to do the best I can to be as, careful. And I've never had that happen, but you want to put that disclaimer out there just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, and something that I do want to recommend to artists is if you can possibly charge 50% of the service up front or the whole thing if you can, unless you know the person that you're working with, because there's a lot of artists that are being left out of money and all those other things that it's like a whole other conversation. But
Yeah, that's a whole nother, yeah.
that's a whole other topic, but definitely be conscious of that. And who's behind you, Erica?
Okay. Got a couple of now. See, this is the thing. So when I get ready to take my pictures, they do the lineup. This is their lineup. They're in the
So it
queue.
really is like a fashion show.
It's like a fashion show. So they're in the queue. I guess I could show. Probably when you put this video out, maybe they'll already be photographed. If not, they get a sneak peek. Um, you know who she is. This is my favorite Barbie in the whole wide world.
Navajo?
Spirit of the Sky. Is
Oh,
that her name? I think she's Spirit of the Sky. Can you see her?
yeah, that's another one that I've been stalking on eBay because of you.
You can find her for cheap now, like 100. But
Mhm.
at one point, she was really expensive. And the outfit is made by my friend Yoy, and
Ooh,
he's on Instagram as well.
that's
And I
very
paired it
cute.
with the Integrity jacket. This is from Eden, correct? Was it
Most
Lilith or
so.
Eden? Yeah. So that's her. I'm gonna put her back. And Maria made this corset
In Texas area?
for me. Maria,
In Texas, right?
yes.
Okay.
Mio, right? That's her nick. She used to go by Mio.
Wow.
And if you can, I don't know if you can see, but on the corset, there's like little tiny bees on there. So I haven't photographed her yet. I'm waiting for the perfect background. And
That's
that's
beautiful.
Peoria, of course. And I'll show one more. I'll put her down here. I lost the stand. You inspired this Colette. Remember when you made the outfit for her?
I
You remember?
remember.
What is that pattern called? Is it called
The butterfly print,
not the butterfly print?
the the tartan, the yellow
Yes.
tartan.
Yes, it was yellow and black and red.
Hmm.
So because you made that outfit, I was like, okay, I think brown hair would look good with her. So I rerouted her and she was ready. So when the outfit came, I was able to get her together.
So beautiful. And that's one reroute from years that people send me and they're like, should I do it like her? And I was like, yeah. That's the one with the pink hair, right?
Yep.
Originally.
This is the one with the pink hair. Yeah.
A lot of people send me your pictures like as if I don't know you. They're like, what do you think about this for a reroute?
Uh-huh.
I was
And
like,
I'm okay with that because I know as an artist, we don't want to come across that we're stealing someone's work or whatever like that. I don't. That's the main reason why I like to reroute, to give people possibilities and different options on what you can do. Because you may not want the doll. Some people didn't like the pink hair. So don't throw her away. See if there's some other colors out there that will work with her palette. You know what I mean?
true. And I think that it's so nice that you don't mind people like getting ideas from you.
I don't mind it at all.
A lot of people are like, why did you copy me? Why did you like, you should be flattered.
But as part of being an artist, we inspire one another. So you take little elements. I mean, of course, if you do something exactly like the same background, the same clothes, yeah, you want to do something a little more original.
A
But
little
we
more
all,
original for sure, but
right, we all inspire one another. So I look at it that way. And even with the clothes, I tell you who to buy them from. So, I can't get mad if you have the same exact outfit. You know what I mean? I want you to get and maybe you'll style it a little bit differently. So that's how I see it.
well, it's kind of like in high school or college where someone be like, "Oh, that's a really cute shirt. Where do you get it?" And
Mhm.
you tell them, and you get upset when they actually buy it and wear it. That's
Right.
mad. You told them, and I don't know. I think it's cool that people like your style and your ideas. What, like you said, if it's blatant to the point where it's posed the same way, the same background, that's a little
That
out.
doesn't feel good, no. Because
No.
I'm like, you could have turned her head a different notice.
I always laugh with Reese, and when I started taking pictures, I would do the thing where I wouldn't even pose her head, and they'd be like
Mhm.
looking at the sky, and they'd be like, "What are they looking at?"
It's hard to pose dolls. You know what, you think is easy because you just take them in front of the camera. It's hard to pose them because you have to get a mood. You have to get it's like real people, except they don't complain and they don't, need to eat.
That's the
You
good
can
thing.
have her in the cold and she won't complain. That's the good thing about dolls.
Has this been like a healing type of thing for you during the pandemic?
Most definitely. I mean, we were already doing a doll collecting thing, Sal, but when the COVID incident happened and we had to be quarantined and stay inside, I mean, we were already in the house, right? So I mean, it allowed, while everything bad was going on, you had a little bit of happiness, and Integrity was still able to pump the dolls out. You know, it was slow for a little while, but around convention, you know, we started getting all the dolls at one time. That was really helpful for me because there's so many dolls that I haven't even gotten to them all from convention. So that helps me with content. You see what I mean? So it's helped. It's helped a lot.
Well, I think that's like such an important thing to know too, that with the pandemic there were going to be some delays with the company, and just for everyone to be patient, because
Yeah,
it's really hard to expect everything to be shipped on time, and like whatever, when there's such a big crisis, and the fact that they're working so hard to
right.
still deliver product, I think it speaks great volumes.
And they still had a convention. I mean, it's easy. They could have just been like, well, guys, we're not going to, you know, they could have just said next year, we'll see. But they still pushed through. And I think there's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why we love the company so much. It's because they really do care about their customers. Because, like you said, they could have just canceled everything and be like, "Well, good luck," or not put out as
Yeah.
much product, but they still managed. So I think that it is really important to be patient with the delivery of dolls and the products coming out, because, like this is a really serious thing.
And to any new collector, I say don't give up. It's got to be hard being a new collector right now, especially if you're not a part of the W Club and you just go straight to eBay, or you go to the dealer website and they don't have anything but older dolls or the dolls that you may not care for. I would just say join the W Club. That's really the only way. When people ask me, how do I get the dolls and know about them? The only thing I can say is W Club, because otherwise I don't even know how you would get anything if it's not second market. So
They do really raise the prices to the point where it's like 30 to 50% more
mhm.
right before they start shipping. And it's a good thing that you pointed out the not giving up. I think that even if you just get like a standard basic doll, well, basic, if
Mhm.
it's sending you back $110, right? But just have something to start out with and play with, and make it clothes or buy it clothes, and really just go from there. And I would say just try to stay away from the drama and just focus on the actual hobby.
Another thing, when you buy older dolls, expect yellowing. If even if it's in the box, never removed from box. I know there's been a little bit of, no, I won't say drama, but there's been concerns behind that.
Hmm.
But these dolls, they start to yellow, especially the first edition dolls. So and the next start to crack and break and everything. The great thing about these dolls, you can put them on a newer body. You know, if you want to keep it in the box, don't take it out the box. You know, that's just one downside if you're a new collector and you want to get older dolls. Understand that there's a possibility that the leather may peel, and it's not, I don't think that's Integrity's fault per se. I just think that over time everything depreciates sometimes. So
That's normal with any
yeah,
item, actually, with
yeah,
clothing, with plastic especially. Keep it away from the sun. That's
yes.
one advice I will give you, because the hands, they start the coloring,
Mhm.
and just expect things when you buy second market. I think that's the best way to.
That's perfect. When you get anything off of eBay, just be careful. This, I don't know about if they're fake so much. I know sometimes there's heads that are overseas and people may repaint them, but one good thing with the dolls, you can tell if it's a fake. I mean, it's not like a purse, so you know, I don't know. Just be safe with that, because
If they don't have makeup on, I think it's pretty safe to assume that it might most likely be a fake or a reject.
yeah,
Just buy the real thing, people. It's only $50.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Erica. I love you. I
Thank
love
you for
your work.
having me, Sal. I am shy. I know I may be outgoing, but I was very scared. But
No, you were perfect.
you made me feel very comfortable, and I'm glad that I was able to share my love of dolls with you and with your followers.
And
And
it's
your,
such an honor to have the queen here, because you're just so
ah,
talented.
I'm okay.
No, really, you're so talented. You're gorgeous. You're kind. You're smart. You're giving.
Thank you, Sal. I
There's
appreciate
like
it.
so many more good things that I could say about you, but I would need the whole week.
Oh, stop. I feel the same way about you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I hope that everybody can take a chance to go over to Erica's Instagram. we can find you at Cutieerica, right?
Yes, I have a website, www.cutieerica.com. That's with two E's. The reason why there's two E's because I meet people in the middle. And I'm Cutie Erica on Instagram.
So you brought the website back.
The website is up. Yes, it is
Oh,
up.
okay.
But is it active? Not really, because I'm not doing commissions anymore. So,
I remember the website from back in the day, so that's why I was
um,
like, back up.
when I used to have my artwork and everything on there,
I remember.
I can't find those files. I'm trying to find those files to bring back some of the artwork that I've done. Yeah.
You're very talented, Eric.
Thank you very much. You're talented as well.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Do you have a new clothing? Anything new coming on your side?
Yes, I'm actually working on developing new patterns and new ideas. And I think I actually perfected the crop top.
Ah, okay.
And
Is that the same crop top that my Anik has? Because
mhm,
her crop top was very nice. I
thank you.
like
Well, when I send you that, I was like, what can I give her that she can mix and match a
it.
lot?
Right.
And you can, I think a white crop top is just like the basic essential to really
And
be
yeah.
wear anything. And then a skirt, just like spice it up a little bit.
Well, hey, I'm speaking for the collectors. We're looking forward to what you have on the horizon.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be really big.
Okay.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
let's get our money together. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Well, thank you so much, Eric, and I hope
Thank you.
that we can see more beautiful things from you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye.